The Miami Marlins and the St. Louis Cardinals from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And along with Brad Thompson, Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. It is a hot, steamy night here in the middle of the country. St. Louis, Missouri, 92 degrees. The Cardinals below 500 for the first time since April 23rd. And in fourth place for the first time since April 22nd. And the right guy on the mound to get things in the right direction. And that is old Uncle Charlie, Adam Wainwright.
Yeah, the Hyundai pitch arsenal here for Adam Wainwright. You know what he's working with. Got that two-seam fastball he uses quite a bit. That cutter is an effective tool to righties and lefties. And old Uncle Charlie, 33.4% of the time. That is third most in all of baseball against a club here that struggles against the breaking ball. So, seems like a good matchup.
John Birdie looks at a strike. Birdie at the top of the lineup. Starling Marte, the National League's Player of the Week, and then Jesus Aguilar, one of the top RBI men in the National League. And quickly, 0-2. Chisholm batting cleanup, then Duvall, Alfaro, Sierra, the former Cardinal, Diaz, and Garrett. And the 0-2 pitch from Adam Wainwright. Swing and a miss, gets away from Molina, tracks it down, fires a strike, and the first out. A strikeout on 3 pitches, and that's how we start the series.
It's old Uncle Charlie again here from Adam Wainwright. The second pitch was for a strike. This one bounces it right in front of the plate, gets Birdie to chase it. Yachty does a good job of making sure this thing doesn't kick off far. And makes himself a strong throw. Great start from Adam Wainwright.
There's Starling Marte, 250 hitter against Adam Wainwright, and one of the hottest hitters in all of baseball. 15 for his last 31. 2 home runs, a double, 9 runs scored. 4 pitches, 4 strikes. Long history with Marte against the Cardinals with all his years in Pittsburgh. Good player. And the first ball of the night.
I would have to think, Dan, that the phone is going to be, has been, ringing off the hook for Starling Marte. As the trade deadline approaches, this is a player I'm sure a lot of teams would love to have.
Absolutely. Could play any outfield spot and play it at a high level. He had 2 outfield assists over the weekend against the Braves, and the Marlins come in a homestand in which they just won 4 of 6. Outfield not very deep. Big gap in left center. Just missed on the inside corner. The crew chief calling the balls in strike. Larry Vanover, Chris Guccione down at first. Ryan Addison at second. David Rackley down at third. Veteran crew here tonight. And the 2-2. Hit left side. Arenado had a couple of dandies in Sunday Night Baseball at Wrigley last night. And that's out number 2. So you got the lefty on the mound with the Marlins. So Carpenter sits, and Edmundo Sosa, his versatility, gets the start at second base. And Mike Schilt, his defense. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs. O'Neill, Carlson, Edman in the outfield. Arenado, DeYoung, Sosa, Goldie on the infield. And what a shock, Wainwright and Molina for the 6,898th time.
That is correct. I fact-checked the number, and you were spot on, partner.
Just got it on Google. There's a ball to Jesus Aguilar.
It is fun every single time.
It's incredible.
Seeing these guys go out there and do it together, do it at such a high level.
Aguilar hits it out of play. So Waino enters tonight as the second oldest active player in the National League. Fourth in baseball, Molina is the 5th oldest. Albert Pujols, the oldest. And these two have combined 286 times the starts together. That is just an incredible mark at this day and age of baseball. Line to third in a 1-2-3 inning. That's what you like to see back home in St. Louis. Half inning in the books, and there's no score. Mike Schilt, his lineup tonight: Tommy Edman, the right fielder, then Dylan Carlson. Back-to-back switch hitters: Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Tyler O'Neill, Yadier Molina, Paul DeYoung, Edmundo Sosa, and Adam Wainwright, the pitcher, batting ninth. Braxton Garrett, former first-round pick. 4 innings, 5 hits, couple of runs, both earned. Walked 3, struck out 3, and a loss against the Rockies. And that was in his last time out on Wednesday.
Yeah, Braxton Garrett. Here's a look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal. Got the 4-seam fastball and not a lot of movement, really. Pretty straight there as well. Got a changeup, the slider, and the curveball. The slider is something that he started to throw more of this year. He used to just be fastball, curveball guy. The slider has been a better feel for him, and it's been a nice change of pace.
Don Mattingly, the manager of the Marlins and the reigning manager of the year in the National League. And let's take a look at Brad Thompson's Toyota key to the game.
Well, the key is be aggressive early here against Braxton Garrett. Braxton throws a lot of first pitch strikes, nearly 70%. But then after that, he nibbles a lot and tries to work the corners. I think the Cardinals are going to have some opportunities on the first pitch of some at-bats to do some damage.
Okay, partner, it is Flag Day. It became an official holiday in 1949, and for many this is an official measuring stick. Some go with Memorial Day, others say it's Flag Day. So where are the Cardinals right now at a game below the 500 mark? What do you think?
I go with the 4th of July. That's mine.
You're going to push it back a little bit.
That's what I think. I don't think I have enough information here. Look, right. I think that the Cardinals are they're scuffling, and there just hasn't been one aspect of the ball club that you look at and say, okay, well, that's going to carry them. But I believe that they've underperformed to this point. So, I mean, right now, it's incomplete if I'm giving them a grade. They have been banged up. They have been injured. But that's something that all around baseball everybody is dealing with a little bit. It's kind of how you overcome it.
Edman hits it out of play. Marlins have their fair share of injuries as well. Jose Devers placed on the 10-day IL. Right shoulder impingement. Brian Anderson, really good player. He's been transferred to the 60-day IL. Luis Madero selected from AAA Jacksonville, and there's a strikeout of Tommy Edman. And that's how we start the offensive night for St. Louis. Here's Dylan Carlson. Average at 260, 6 home runs, and he's driven in 27. Cardinals trying to bounce back after a very tough weekend at Wrigley Field. They were up 5-1 in game 1 with Wrigley Field rocking this weekend. Back at 100% capacity, and there's a base hit into center field. So game 1, you're up 5-1. Game 2 got out of hand early with a lot of walks, and then last night only 2 hits. Carlos Martinez took the loss with 2 unearned runs, had a chance to win it. Pitched well, and so you'd like to see the offense, also pick it up here back at home at Busch Stadium.
Yeah, the offense still is a point that I look at with this cast of characters that I know that there's more there. And with all the injuries to the pitching staff, I believe this is the group that you're going to have to look at to carry you a little bit through these tough times.
Paul Goldschmidt hitting .268 against lefties this year and takes a fastball for a strike. So the Marlins a 4-2 homestand against the Rockies and the Braves. Yesterday, Lopez made their start, and it was a short outing. They had to go to 4 relievers to cover 6 innings and 2 runs. We'll see if that comes into play tonight. That's in the dirt. So chance here for the Cardinals against teams that are below the 500 mark. Big stretch of games. Marlins on the road against the Braves in Detroit, then back home, Pittsburgh, Arizona, and then finish up with a long trip, Colorado, San Francisco, and then back at Wrigley before the All-Star break. The 1-1. Inside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, that schedule is a huge opportunity to get right and get a little bit of momentum back, and it's
maybe get healthy
too.
Yeah,
for sure, absolutely. You hope that on both sides, because I mean, you like to see Harrison Bader back soon. KK, great news that he'll be back tomorrow, but
lifted out to deep left field. Catch made by Sierra. And back to the bat goes Dylan Carlson, and there's 2 away. Marlins defensively, Starlin Marte in center field. Sierra is in left, Duvall in right. Diaz, Chisholm, Birdie, Aguilar along the infield, Alfaro behind the plate, around the horn, presented by Dobbs. Here's Nolan Arenado. At first, Dylan Carlson, who snapped an 0 for 10. But back to the schedule, this is a chance to do a lot of things right.
Yeah, it really is. And it gives you a chance to get in a position come the trade deadline to be able to pounce. Like if you go take advantage of the schedule that's in front of you, well, the front office is going to look at that and say, all right, I'm going to add to this. If you don't take advantage of it, well, I don't know what they'll do.
Big gap in left center for the Cardinal third baseman, Nolan Arenado. Gets underneath it. Hits it a mile high. Chisholm, the shortstop, under it and makes the catch. Cardinals strand a runner. 1 inning in the books. And there's no score here at Busch Stadium. No score here at Busch Stadium, and we check in with Jim Hayes.
Danny, a stretch like the Cardinals have gone through is no fun for anyone. That includes, obviously, the players. Paul Goldschmidt told me he's feeling some of what the fans are feeling. He told me we take it as seriously as anyone. This is our job. We're competitors. We want to win. Goldschmidt says when assessing what's going wrong, he looks in the mirror. Goldschmidt told me, for me, I look at myself first. I have to play better. I haven't played my best the first few months. I just have to focus on doing my job. And I know the other guys are doing the same. Danny, Goldie believes this team will get it rolling at some point.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. As Chisholm steps in, batting cleanup now for this team. Last 7 games, hitting .345. 4 of his last 6 games, multi-hit variety. Leads all rookies, .834 OPS.
He's a good player. He was one that you knew they were excited about as they acquired him in the Zach Gallen trade with the Diamondbacks.
A combination of speed and power, and he bunts it out in front of the plate, and that'll be an out. As the home plate umpire, Larry Vanover, was, or is he saying, is it fair or foul? Apparently he's saying it's fair and foul.
Well, good. I'll pick the one that I like. I like fair here.
And that'll be a foul ball.
Yeah, that's a foul ball right there.
All right, here comes a 1-2 pitch. Hit out of play.
Yeah, they knew with Jazz Chisholm that they had something special, but they were wondering how long it would take for that hit tool to translate to the big league level. Well, it's been a little bit quicker than expected. He likes to get extended, likes the ball away from him. You see as Adam Wainwright has been pounding him inside to set him up for this.
It's going to be interesting. The tentacle of all the deals that have happened with the Marlins, the tentacles of Yelich, Ozuna, Stanton, and the Gallen deal is part of what happened with the Ozuna deal. Gallen was from St. Louis. Taken there by Goldschmidt to Wainwright. When you think about the Ozuna deal, that was also Magneuris Sierra, who's in left field tonight. We're going to see Sandy Alcantara in game 3. Could be a hot afternoon, by the way. It's a day game on Wednesday, but then they flip Gallen to get Chisholm, who we see here batting cleanup and playing short.
Yeah, that's the key, right? If you are going to move pieces like the Marlins had, you better get some of your future back, and at least they've been able to do that.
I think the one that was really tough for the Marlins, I'm sure all 3 weren't easy, but Yelich became an MVP the next year.
Well, I think even the harder part with that one, he became the MVP, but if you got something back and that turned into a star, Lewis Brinson was supposed to be that star coming back from the Brewers, and that just hasn't happened for them, so it makes it tougher to swallow.
Jordan Yamamoto was also part of that deal. He's been with the Mets now. Monte Harrison, another name that we've seen up and down at times. Stanley got money off the books. Now they did get Starlin Castro back, and there was a couple of decent years from Castro. Jose Devers. Guzman was a part of that deal. That's a base hit into center field by Adam Duvall. So 1 out hit, first hit for the Marlins. Brings in Jorge Alfaro. He got beat up over the weekend. Had to leave game 1 of their series over the weekend. Also took a shot yesterday. They thought he might have to exit their ball game, but he's tough. Stayed in there. In his last 3 games, he's 5 for his last 10. He's hit in 17 of the 26 he's played in. Part of the JT Realmuto deal.
Yeah, there's a trend, isn't there, when it comes to players on the roster here? They've kind of all come from elsewhere and trying to come together and form a winner. And I do think that the Marlins have done a good job so far of kind of putting together a little bit of a nucleus. They're going to have to add. They're going to have to build. And maybe this offseason will be one where they have a little bit more financial flexibility to do so. But their pitching is very good.
Well, one pitch is hit out of play, and it's anchored by Sandy Alcantara. Nothing in 2 the count. Alfaro at 272. A couple of home runs, has driven in 9 on the year. And a fly ball into right center field. Carlson will make the catch. 2 outs. Push your Cardinals to the top this summer with the 2021 Google MLB All-Star Ballot. Vote daily at MLB.com/vote and on Google by searching for your favorite players and send them to Colorado in the Midsummer Classic. No Cardinals, by the way, are leading vote getters at this point.
Well, let's get on that.
I would think Nolan Arenado would want to go to Denver. That would be my guess.
I think he'd really enjoy that.
There's Sierra, and that's a strike. 239, no home runs, no runs batted in. Marlins come in at 29 and 36, and this is a team that was hit hard with COVID, just like the Cardinals were last year, and still made it into postseason play remarkably. Amazing that both these teams made it into the playoffs.
Yeah, it really was. But the expectations for the 2 ball clubs far different, right? Coming into the season last year. And the Marlins were one of those feel-good stories in baseball. They pieced it together. I mean, Don Mattingly was basically meeting players for the first time and then throwing them out there and saying, all right, go get them.
Literally.
Yeah.
The 1-1. Into right center. That ball scooting and past Carlson, backing up Tommy Edman, quickly getting it back into Sosa, relay to the plate, it is there and not in time. The tag back, got him! He missed the plate, Duvall missed the plate, the tag applied by Molina. Wainwright pointing to Yachty to make sure and apply the tag. He noticed that Duvall apparently had missed the plate, but did he?
Well, the plate is blocked right there, certainly,
Sure
by Yadier Molina's foot, and you called it, Dan. What a heads-up play by Adam Wainwright. Eye on that entire thing, knowing that he did not touch the plate.
I think he's out.
That's just heads-up baseball right there.
Oh, he's out. I mean, that's heads up from Yadi, Waino, everybody on that play. Now, my question would be, not necessarily on the tag, because I think they got him there, but can you question whether or not he's blocking the plate on that?
Well, here's what I would say. If we get the only view that we just saw there, and certainly there are going to be different angles on this, to me that's inconclusive. So the call on the field was out. So I do believe it's going to be way too difficult to say, oh, yeah, well, maybe the hand got in on the front side of the plate.
But does he have a lane, though? So you got to have a lane. And that
it's
would
still
be
in the motion of making the play, though. So the foot kind of gets there. It's all in that one sweeping motion.
And that would be my only question, is because to me, if you're going on just the tag or whether or not he got his foot in there or hand in there, he did not. So does he have the ability to have a lane to get in there? And I'd say then that would be the question right now for Don Mattingly and his crew.
Well, as you see it there, I mean, that's kind of part of the tag is moving there. It's not like he's standing directly in the baseline. That's kind of textbook of being able to use your foot to block that plate as you turn and make the tag.
But if you're questioning whether or not he touched the plate, the answer is, in my opinion, no, he's out. But if this is about the home plate, they call it the home plate collision rule.
Yeah.
Then that would be what you're looking at here if you're Don Mattingly.
Well,
I would assume.
And this is one here you think, oh, well, it shouldn't take this long. What are they looking at? Look, runs are at a premium right now. So you're trying to figure out, Don Mattingly is for his ball club. If he thinks that the wrong call was made, he's going to try to get this figured out. We know how good Adam Wainwright has been on the road, or at home, I'm sorry. He's been fantastic. So, I mean, one run might be all you get. Yeah, no chance he's there. Gets the foot in on the backside of the plate. We talk about this a lot, though. This is a process that I believe has to be expedited somehow, some way for Major League Baseball. It just takes too long on these plays. You want to get the call right. You want to make sure you see every angle of it. And certainly they're at the mercy of the replay system in New York, but it takes a while.
Well, and you being a former pitcher, think about this. The players are off the field. If you're Adam Wainwright and let's say it gets overturned and then all of a sudden now you're going to have a runner at third, you're down 1-0. You got to amp it up back again. And that's a problem, too, in terms of the competition of the game, too.
Yeah, it certainly is.
So the call stands, and a heads-up play all the way around. Yadier Molina, Adam Wainwright quickly to the plate on the relay, and there is no score. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Valley Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser, this Bud's for you, and by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. The fans back. We have 100% capacity starting tonight. And as we go along throughout the summer, we anticipate bigger and bigger crowds. Huge season ticket base here in St. Louis, well over 20,000. And when we were at 15 and then 30, you had to space out people properly. And that means that some of the season ticket holders were left at home. Some could come to the ballpark. Now everybody can. And it's opened up for everybody, so we're going to have bigger crowds as we go along, and that starts tonight. So it's great to have all the folks back and the opportunity to come down. Tyler O'Neill to lead it off. Big sweeping breaking ball, then a strike. I think to the point that you made on replay, it's just got to get better.
Just has to be expedited somehow, some way. Or at the very least, right, when you're looking at it, for those watching at home or those here at the ballpark, some sort of an explanation, as the NFL does. Hey, this is what we're looking at. This is what the call is. Because to your point, was it the blocking of the plate? Was it the tag? Was it the hand getting in? I mean, these are all things that I think that you can bring somebody inside the game a little bit.
What I'd like to see is an explanation as to what exactly they're looking at. Completely. We'll put a microphone on them for those at home, television, those in the stands, and get a full explanation, and then we move on.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on the list.
I think so.
Of things for Major League Baseball to look at. Unfortunately, I think it's a really long list of things they want to get done in the next calendar year.
And that might be on the back burner, too.
That, which is fine. You take care of all the other business. We'll figure that one out.
There's a 1-2 to the Cardinal left fielder Tyler O'Neill. 15 home runs, and now a strikeout, number 2 tonight. Braxton Garrett doesn't throw hard. He's right around that 91, 93 miles an hour range.
The Chevy pitch tracks here. Here's that bigger breaking ball from Garrett, and it's just down at the bottom of the zone. You're right. He's not overpowering. He likes to try to get ahead and then works from there. He knows what his stuff is. He knows it doesn't play in the middle of the strike zone. He's got to be kind of almost perfect where he places stuff.
Strike 2, Yadier Molina. 273, 7 home runs, and he's driven in 28. Hitting .391 against left-handed pitching this year.
You have that big play at the plate to cut down a run. I'm sure that Sierra was saying, well, what do I got to do to buy an RBI? 53 games in, still doesn't have one yet. But you'd love to carry that momentum into this inning.
I was just about to say, not very often do you see teams shift against Yadier Molina, especially with a guy that's hitting .391 against left-handed pitching and sprays it everywhere.
But this is something we know and love about Yadier Molina. 2 strikes. He's going to shorten up a little bit. Gets a fastball. You see Garrett there is trying to climb the ladder a little bit. And there's that shift that you were mentioning, Dan. Hits it right over it. But the ability to go the other way, he does not seem like a good shift candidate at all for me.
So we had a little bit of 2 different challenges on that play, by the way. So we just found out that they were looking at both. So Don Mattingly was looking at as whether or not Molina did block the plate. So we were right in that regard. And then it was the safe out call. So they were looking at both, and apparently he did not block it, and then was safe on that call. So initially looking at whether or not he blocked the lane, and that was called in the Cardinal favor, and then was called safe on the tag.
All things that will be great to know real time.
Yep.
As it's going on. But either way, a nice play for the Cardinals, who we know offensively runs have been at a premium. They need some great starting pitching. Kind of squandered a really good outing by Carlos Martinez yesterday, only able to get a couple of hits against the Cubs. Got to just build something new. It's hard when you're struggling and you go through the downs of the season to not get down on it, not try to do too much. Got to take advantage of this, take it one day and one game at a time, and build your momentum back up again.
And the 2-1 pitch. 2-2.
can tell by a couple of swings that the Cardinals have taken that slider of Braxton Garrett is hard to pick up.
Paul DeJong 3 for 23 against left-handed pitching this year. Very short lead by Molina at first base, and a 2-2 pitch. Outfield is straight away. And Yachty is going nowhere.
Oh, look, speed kills.
It does.
And it'll take your mind off the task at hand. All of a sudden you're concerned that Yachty is going to go because, you know, his long history of doing so. Then
Very
you leave
extensive long history.
Then you leave that one center cut for Paul to hit that 2-run bomb.
Inside. But this is the time that he will catch you and take a little secondary lead and take off.
He might not be the fastest guy in the world. He is an incredibly intelligent base runner. Knows when to take his shots. And I think that Albert let him borrow that magic cloak that he would wear.
Yeah. Taken high by DeJong. First and second. And the batter will be Sosa. Well, tonight we're participating in the home run challenge, and every home run in this ball game raises money for prostate cancer research. And so far, $188,000. That has been raised in the challenge, and you can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. Sosa here at Busch Stadium batting .347. One out, first and second. I kind of like how Sosa takes those inside pitches. He's either going to take it for a ball or get hit.
I just thought on that pitch, I'm like, his antics right there sold it. Like that gave him the ball. It was a strike.
It was. Big gap in left center, short lead by Yachty, and the 1-0. He does it again, and that time it does not go his way. Evens it up at 1-1. By them keeping Molina close at second base, a ball hit to center. And Marte could gun him out. Something to keep in mind. He's got a very good arm in center field. We've seen Sierra, pretty good arm in left. And that is yanked foul and off the screen down the left field line. 1-2. And with 2 strikes, the infield shifting, 3 on the left side. Marlins lead the National League, 18 outfield assists this year. The 2-2. Hit out to left. That is a base hit by Sosa. Here comes Yadier Molina to the plate. Save! And it's 1-0 Cardinals. Edmundo Sosa with a base hit to left. 1-0 St. Louis.
Sosa does a great job right here of just pulling the hands in. All right, this is a pitch that is not unlike the first couple as far as in that he tried to get the call on. He knew that Garrett was going to try to come back in there, though. Pulls the hands, and then you see the wheels of Yadier Molina. Got a good jump off the bat, good turns, and a nice lead for the Cardinals that they have desperately needed for a while.
Not a bad throw by Sierra in
throw.
left. So here is Adam Wainwright. Many times he'll show bunt and then pull back and swing away. He has 1 hit this year, and that was in his last start. 0.45 his average. Pulls back, takes a strike. 4th run batted in the month of June for Sosa, passing the 3 added 21 games in the month of May. Boy, the outfield very shallow here for Miami, and we know that Adam can get into one. Third baseman is in. That's Diaz. So is Aguilar. And Wainwright bunts it foul. 0-2 the count. Wainwright with 62 sacrifices, 4th most among active pitchers. The 0-2. Beautiful bunt here by Adam Wainwright. Runners at second and third, his 63rd sacrifice of his career.
We gotta love good fundamental baseball. Kids, take a note. Yes, bunting is a thing, and when it's done properly, it is a pretty one. He's up in the box, gives himself that angle to get it right down the third base line, gets the bat out there, and just deadens it. Garrett does a nice job of pouncing on it, but it's a perfect bunt here by Adam Wainwright, and for the Cardinals, an opportunity where a base hit now cashes in a couple.
Now Tommy Edman. And strike one. Edman struck out swinging his first time up. Garrett with a couple of strikeouts. Edman and O'Neill in this game. 1-0 Cardinals. Runners at second and third with 2 down here in the home half of the second inning. The 0-1. 0-2. 6 for 25 in this spot for Tommy Edman. And a foul ball. It has been such a tough month for the St. Louis Cardinals. 2-9, 182 the winning percentage, and for the Cardinals 2-9, that is a franchise record worst start for the month of June all time. Doesn't happen very often.
When was the last time it happened?
1940.
Okay. Things got better in the 40s.
And then a soft liner and caught by Diaz. Cardinals will strand a pair, but they pick up an RBI single from Sosa. 1-0 after 2. 100% capacity is now ready to roll here at Busch Stadium. Nice crowd here tonight. Busch Stadium here in St. Louis. The Cardinals and the Marlins, game 1 of 3. Then the Cardinals will head to Atlanta this weekend. It'll be a 6-game road trip. The T-Mobile coverage cam. 4 with the Braves and then 2 with Detroit. Edmundo Sosa with the RBI base hit. 1-0 Cardinals. Adam Wainwright all-time at home is 93-52. So trying to pass Bob Forsch and move into third place all alone on the Cardinals all-time wins list in terms of home wins.
Well, there's just something about this ballpark, something about this mound that makes Adam Wainwright feel comfortable, and I think that the fans can say the same thing when old Uncle Charlie is on the bump. You feel comfortable. You feel like you know what's going to happen. He's going to give you a chance to win, and Cardinals gave him a run. Love to see him give a lot more, but for Adam, the key is get right back into that dugout.
Third baseman Diaz, the 8th place hitter, then Garrett and Birdie. His last 4 starts, he's been just terrific. He's had a pair of 7-inning starts. He's gone 8 and then 8 1/3 on another one. That's taken just low, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike.
Well, the last couple, too, as you know, Dan, were when the Cardinals really needed him.
Yeah.
After a couple of rocky outings from Carlos Martinez, who had a really nice night last night. Unfortunately, the Cardinals couldn't make it stand up. But he's always been there for them and been that rock. He was certainly that guy last year that if you needed him to step up, he stepped up. It's amazing what he's doing, being able to pitch with that cape tucked in.
And the 3-2, he struck him out. Second strikeout for Adam Wainwright.
We always show the highlights of Uncle Charlie. I love seeing a perfectly located fastball, though. That's the case there. Down and away, right on the corner. Just sticks it, and that's where Adam is at his best. He works the corners with the heaters. He throws the cutter, the big time curveball off of it. Doesn't make too many mistakes over the heart of the plate.
Pitcher Braxton Garrett. A ball and a strike. Garrett looking for his first hit of the year. Chopper to Arenado. 2 away. Friday, June 25th, Saturday the 26th. The Cardinals and the Pirates each day. 15,000 fans ages 16 and older take home a stainless steel powder coated tumbler featuring Yadier Molina. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Top of the lineup, John Birdie. Struck out swinging first time up.
The overall numbers right now for Birdie don't look great coming into action at 207. He's been hotter lately, though. The last couple of weeks hitting 316 over his last 12 games.
Yeah, well above 300 here in this month. So Don Mattingly putting him at the top of their lineup. This has been a team that has struggled on the road. They've been a little bit better at home. And as you mentioned, they've got a couple of pieces. They're not sure what they may do at the trade deadline. Most notable would be their center fielder Starling Marte. Jesus Aguilar could be a piece for teams too.
He is an RBI machine right now.
Yes,
49 of them.
puts him in the top 5 of the National League. Saw him head to the All-Star game when he was with Milwaukee, and that's a base hit into right field. 2-out hit for Birdie. He's 1 for 2, and now the aforementioned Starling Marte.
Center fielder, Starling Marte.
Waino throws the cutter. This pitch is off the plate away where he wants it. Birdie just does a good job of staying with it and going the other way to Tommy Edman and right.
So as we talked about earlier, Marte named the National League Player of the Week. First time in his career. That happened this afternoon. First Marlin to get that award since Giancarlo Stanton and Marcell Ozuna. They were co-players of the week in 2017, mid-September, to win that award. So coming into play, batting .351, 5 home runs, driven in 15, but it's what he's done the last 7-10 days. He has just been as hot as anybody. Off the plate, ball 1. I've always liked him.
I have too.
I just thought he's a really good player.
No, I really thought with Pittsburgh, I thought that he and Gregory Polanco were going to be stars for a long time.
Yes.
Now, Marte has been. Gregory Polanco, you see flashes of it, but you haven't seen that long consistency part of it. But I like the way that Marte plays the game.
And remember, it was Marte that moved McCutchen at one point out of center field. And then he had some issues that took him out of their lineup for a number of games. And McCutchen went back into center field. Two balls and no strikes with 2 outs and a runner at first base. Outfield is deep and straight away. 2-1.
Well, this is where Starling Marte has been very, very dangerous, is when he's ahead in the count, and Adam Wainwright knew that with that big bender in the 2-0 count. He's at 579 this year when he's ahead. So controlling the counts is huge.
Figured we may see a lot of curveballs in this game. You talked about it earlier, but Wainwright using it about 33% of the time. The Marlins average against the curve 6th worst in baseball, 175 the average. And the 2-1 pitch, fastball, and maybe Marte was thinking the same thing.
That's it. I mean, isn't that's the fun part of it? You know the struggles against curveball. You know how good Adams is, but pitching is throwing stuff when the opposition isn't expecting it, and that's exactly what you saw here.
2 outs, runner at first, count even 2-2. Birdie off with his next pitch with a count of 3-2 and 2 outs. He gets a strikeout here. It's number 1900 for Adam Wainwright. Three-two pitch, and he missed, and a walk. And the first walk issued by Waino, and it brings in a dangerous hitter in Aguilar. As Brad mentioned, he's been an RBI machine this year for Miami. Comes in with a 9-game hitting streak, tied for second in baseball with 49 runs batted in, 934 OPS on breaking balls. Keep that in mind. That's 10th best in baseball. Runners at first and second. He lined out to third first time up. And ball 1.
Well, that one way down and way away, but that's where the out is on Aguilar. You stay down, you stay away from him. He'll still go that way every once in a while if you execute your pitch, but you make a mistake, that's where it really hurts you. I like my chances down and away.
So Aguilar, the interesting part, and we mentioned that so much of his damage on the road, so all 12 of his home runs have been away from South Florida. And the last player to hit the first 12 home runs of a season on the road, Jose Abreu, back in 17. He had 13.
Pretty good player as well.
I'd say so. This could be a very big at bat in this game, even though it's early. But this is one of the players that you focus on clearly if you're Adam Wainwright. 2 runners on, Aguilar at the plate. That ball gets away from Molina, and the runners advance to second and third. With 2 outs and runners in scoring position, Aguilar hitting .308. Well, now first base open. Does he see a pitch to hit on 2-0? That might be your answer.
Yeah, you're going to hope to get him in a mode where he's overly aggressive right now, as well as Jazz Chisholm, who is on deck. He'll be up next. As well as he's swinging it, he's not the threat that Aguilar is.
That's taken inside, so back-to-back walks. Chisholm 2 for 5 with the bases loaded this year. And a very good opportunity here for the Marlins. And all this being done with 2 outs. The base hit to right by Birdie. Marte a walk, Aguilar a walk, and they're all loaded up for Jazz Chisholm. Grounded to first, and he's 0 for 1. Shift on the infield. Cardinals with a 1-0 lead here in the top of the 3rd. First pitch down and inside for ball 1.
I think we might see quite a bit of this in this at bat is inside against Jazz Chisholm. Loves to get the hands extended, has a little bit longer swing.
Drops in for a strike, 1-1.
You see that pitch called under the strike zone right there by home plate umpire Larry Vanover. Adam Wainwright, Yadier Molina, a couple of smart guys been here before.
And Ricky at the plate.
Yeah, let's go down there again.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Now 1-2.
Climbing the ladder.
So you change eye level a little bit there. What do you come with here on 1 and 2?
Well, you got him caught in between right now, and that's exactly what Jazz Chisholm is thinking to himself as the crowd comes alive here at Busch Stadium. Which way is he going to go? I feel like bases loaded in a spot right here. This is generally where Uncle Charlie comes out.
And time called. The 1-2. And the runners will stay put. 2-2.
He went with Uncle Charlie. Yachty does a good job of sliding over, deadening this baseball. You've shown him a couple of breaking balls away. You elevated with the fastball. I think there is room inside with the cutter if they feel comfortable going in there.
The 2-2 pitch. Put in play and a base hit into left, and 2 runs will score. And the Marlins have a 2-1 lead. The Young was playing towards the middle, and Chisholm singles into center, and the Marlins have their first lead of the night.
Just a 4-seam fastball here from Adam Wainwright. It's on the outer third, but still up a little bit. And Jazz Chisholm doesn't try to swing out of his shoes, not trying to hit a home run here. You look at his feet, just kind of standing still, just puts the barrel of the bat on the ball, and that's all you had to do with Paul DeYoung shifted up the middle.
Runners at first and second now with 2 outs, and here's Duvall. Third multi-RBI game in Chisholm's last 5 games. And the 0-1. Nothing in 2.
get Duvall right here. The Cardinals do have 2, 3, 4 coming up next inning. Great opportunity to get right back here. 1-run deficit is nothing. Just got to keep it there.
The 0-2 pitch. And a grounder to Arenado. He'll step on the bag. Marlins strand a pair, but they pick up 2, and they pick up a lead. It's a 2-1 game midway through 3. It's a 2-1 game as we move to the home half of the 3rd inning here at Busch Stadium. Now it's time for our Kia player profile, brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Dylan Carlson, the Cardinal rookie, and his ranks among the rookies in all of baseball. 63 games, tied for 1st, tied for 5th in hits, and he's 3rd in runs. Dylan Carlson. And we've seen him play left, a lot of center this year. I think before it's all said and done, when you look at what we hope will be a nice, long, productive Cardinal career, my guess would be, Brad, that, and again, it's a big guess, because you don't know how things are going to play out and who's going to be here and what happens, but I think right field is where I would project him.
I agree. I think that he's done a very good job of manning center field, but he's got the arm for right. I think that the bat profiles well there as well. I think the great thing about Dylan Carlson is we've seen him grow. There's still a lot of room there. Like, just a talented baseball player still learning at this level.
Well, we are waiting on Chisholm to take the field, and here he comes. You know, the Marlins have been hit with injuries too, and we're a little unsure as to their bench tonight. They've got Leone, but Dickerson is another guy that may be unavailable. Now he's listed, and they've got Lewin Diaz, but they were talking about potentially that if they had to pinch run guys, that it'd be pitchers that would be running.
Yeah, it's tough when you're rolling with that short bench. You want to try to stop. You don't want to make an IL move before you have to. So you try to give players an extra day of leeway here and there, but you do put yourself at a disadvantage if you are short.
And it is a very, very hot day and night here in St. Louis. I'm sure on your Porsche it probably read triple digits. Did it not? Or is it a Ferrari now?
Oh, no. You know those are too cramped for me.
Oh. Is it the...
and I can't afford it.
Oh, is it that part? I thought it was the Royal.
It's more that part.
Rolls.
Because if Chris Carpenter could fit in a Porsche, I think I could. You know, Carp's a big Porsche guy.
Right.
A big guy. So it's not that. It's more the I didn't pitch like Carp.
Oh.
So I don't have
it's more
Porsche.
the money issue.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. There's a 1-2 pitch to Dylan Carlson. In the dirt, and it's 2-2. And we saw that Wrigley Field was absolutely packed and electric this weekend, and again back to 100% capacity starting tonight here at Busch Stadium, and these crowds will, I'm sure, continue to grow throughout the year.
They will for sure.
And Carlson, a base hit into this left center field. Takes a wide turn around the bag at first, and he's 2 for 2.
Just a nice easy stroke from Carlson. He gets a slider down the middle. See the hump in that breaking ball right there. Easier to pick up for the hitter when you see it pop up out of the hands. The good balance here, stays on it and drives it. That's the key there in the 2 spot. Get on base in front of these guys. Still waiting for Goldie to get on that hot streak, get him running.
Here's Paul Goldschmidt. Fly to left first time up, and the 1-0 pitch. Rips it foul. Oh boy, watch out. And just cleared over the netting down the left field line, and Jeff Albert there on the right. Little video work earlier today in the hot sun with Jeff Albert and Paul Goldschmidt. So that means a home run's coming, I guess. And that's hit out of play, and another souvenir.
Well, you love the fact that your best players are oftentimes your hardest workers, and that's certainly been the case with Paul Goldschmidt. As you heard earlier in the broadcast, Jim Hayes caught up with Goldie and talked about the struggles that the team is having. He said, look, we take this as personally as anybody. This is our job. This is what we do. And like everybody else who struggles in their jobs, you work harder.
And a high fly ball lifted out to deep left field. It's near the wall and caught. And Sierra with the catch in the middle of the track in deep left. Not sure Sierra saw that all the way. He hit that really high. Watch this. Where is it? Oh, it's in my glove. Got it.
The old deke of the runner over at first base. Oh, go ahead and run. I was surprised that ball traveled as far as it did, though.
Yes. Nolan Arenado. And Arenado with a fly ball out to Sierra, and that will carry to his glove. And the catch is made. Carlson stays put. 2 away. Calling all teachers. Kick off your summer break at Busch Stadium. Teachers Night returns to the ballpark Monday, June 28th. Tuesday, June 29th. Purchase of a special theme ticket. Teachers take home an exclusive teachers-themed Cardinals cap. Cardinals.com/theme. Theme nights are back. Here's Tyler O'Neill. Struck out his first time up. All kinds of room on the right side of the infield, and O'Neill hits it into the gap in left center. Carlson racing to third. Wave him in. A relay to the plate. Not in time. Carlson was initially called safe and then called out. We had this play earlier, but it did look like indeed, by not sliding, that he missed the plate. And the Cardinals are going to take a look at it.
You're going to have to. You hope Dylan Carlson is okay trying to go back and extend here. Trying to duck the throw. The best way to duck it, to your point, is to slide right there and get right past it. You'll be able to hook it, get your arm out, and touch the plate. If he didn't hit it, absolutely Alfaro gets him on the back end of this play, as here we go again. Going to take a look at it. How weird is this? Same play 2 times in a ball game. That one right there, avoidable if he slides.
So if the throw takes you into the sliding lane and it's unavoidable by the catcher, that is a play that...
It's a baseball play.
Exactly. So it stays that way. But if you're blocking the plate, as you used to do many times in baseball, then all of a sudden you could say that, well, he had no lane to go to the plate. But you could see how the throw would take him up the line there. And it looks like he did miss the plate.
Did he get it on the toe drag? You saw a little bit of a drag of the toe there. And again, definitely does not make it back in here before Alfaro gets him.
But again, it's a question of not sliding, and if you don't slide, you're going to miss the plate, and he missed the plate, and he's going to be out.
Yeah, you kind of wonder on that one from his vantage point as the throw is coming into the line. He sees Alfaro there, so tries to avoid it. Maybe that one misstep didn't allow him to get into a position to drop down and slide.
How many times are you going to see this twice in a game, like with the questionable whether or not a catcher blocks the lane and then a runner misses home plate?
I would say 39 more years. I mean, this is the first time I've seen it twice in a ball game.
Me too.
That seems to be about the time frame.
And again, we're left to guess. Is Mike Schilt challenging the initial play about whether or not Alfaro is blocking the lane? And then is he questioning whether or not did he get his foot in on the plate? But again, the throw is going to take him up the line. And I'd say no.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Dylan Carlson is out at the plate, when you see it from that vantage point, Alfaro did such a good job of selling this play as if it weren't coming. I mean, he's standing there still. Dylan peeks over his shoulder.
Yep, he's out.
Alfaro sold that. Dylan needed to slide and keep heading towards his target there. Tough play.
Download the McDonald's app to grab a $1 any size frozen beverage every game day. Folks in Big Mac land. It looked like Dylan Carlson may have been peeking back at the throw as well, Brad. So missed the plate, tagged out, and a couple of guys thrown out tonight at the plate and missing home plate on both sides, and it's a 2-1 score as we move to the top of the fourth.
It has been interesting, certainly, and hopefully one for the Cardinals that doesn't end up coming back to bite them. It was a great job by Tyler O'Neill. Drives that thing into the gap. And for old Uncle Charlie, it's time for him to settle down. Long inning last inning for Adam Wainwright. 31 pitches. He'd love to see a quick one like the first inning. Only 11 pitches in the first.
Marlins' 19th outfield assist. That review, they were only looking at the tag. So not whether or not Alfaro was blocking the lane of the runner. Just the tag. And here's the 1-2 pitch. And it's hit down the right field line and out of play. With the double for O'Neill, that's now a 20-game on-base streak for the Cardinal left fielder Tyler O'Neill. He has been a bright spot this season. And 1 for 2 tonight. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 1900 for Adam Wainwright.
Your Plaza Tire Service pitch tracks here. Adam Wainwright, 76-mile-an-hour Uncle Charlie to get Alfaro. It's the beauty of that pitch from Waino. As you hear the crowd, and they're all reacting. It's his 1900th strikeout on the board. He said, I didn't know. How about that? He said, I'm honing in on 2000.
And a quick tip of the cap. He's saying, wait a minute, I'm in rhythm here. I want to keep this thing going.
It's a man on a mission, right? We were talking earlier in the pregame about he's been your stopper. He's been your guy.
Nice play. Goldschmidt steps on the bag. Tell you what, that gets past Goldie. That is triple written all over it with the speed of Sierra.
Honestly, depending on the right kick, I mean, that might have inside the park home run written all over it. We know the wheels that he has. Goldie does a good job of going down there and getting it. It's a nice thing about having Gold Glove caliber players all over the infield. Let them do the work.
Shift on the right side, and now it's Diaz. And strike one. So Waino tonight with 4 hits allowed, 2 runs, and a couple of walks. And has struck out 3, including number 1900 in his career. Well, you'd love to have one of those innings to get the crowd going. It's been, fairly quiet tonight, where you got the crowd back, and you just let them get back into it.
You want to give them something to cheer about, certainly.
Yeah. It's been a rough couple of weeks, no doubt. The 0-2 pitch. 1-2. Tapped foul. Cardinals will send Molina, DeYoung, and Sosa coming up to the plate in their half of the fourth. The 1-2 pitch. The 2-2. Check swing. Did not go. It was one of those quicker deliveries from Wainwright. He'll vary that delivery in different ways, just trying to disrupt the timing of a hitter.
That's it, right? That's what hitting is timing. And you get that rhythm, you get that tempo. You know when the hands break from a pitcher. You know how quickly the ball gets on you. And it just takes that little quick pitch to mess it up a little bit.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Pair of strikeouts in the inning for Adam Wainwright. 2 strikeouts, including number 1900. 2-1 our score. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Valley Sports Midwest is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals, and by Jack in the Box. Our $6.99 triple bacon cheesy Jack combo is here only at Jack in the Box. Sun setting on a hot, steamy night here in St. Louis, and the Cardinals down by a run. Yadier Molina, Paul DeYoung, Edmundo Sosa. All right, partner. Most hits against the Marlins. All time, who do you think?
All time, most hits against the Marlins. Look, I'm going to play the odds here, and just because he's up, and
I'm going to say Cardinals. Cardinals all time.
Albert?
That's always a good choice.
Yeah.
Ray Lankford, 82.
Okay.
Molina, 78. Pujols, 76.
He's on the podium.
Brian Jordan, 52. Matt Holliday with 50. So those are your top 5. I'm going to say that Yachty will be the all-time leader before it's all said and done. So he is 5 away. Does he get 5 in this series?
Yeah.
He's got one tonight. And he's got a run scored. The 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Yeah, you could pretty much just say Albert. You feel pretty good about it.
That's pretty much my go-to. It's like any basketball question. It's probably going to be Michael Jordan. And I'm going to go Gretzky in the NHL.
Yeah. Chop to third, and that's the first out here in the home half of the fourth.
Tell you what, nothing special here from Braxton Garrett, but you knew that coming in when it came to the overall stuff.
I like his pitchability so far. He's been locating the fastball on both sides of the plate. He's shown off both breaking balls. The slider that he throws in the low to mid 80s and the slower curveball, but a guy that they're going to have to start jumping sooner.
And another ground ball hit to third. Diaz out number 2. DeYoung with a walk and a ground out. The Marlins starters have combined to have a 3.33 ERA. 7th lowest in the major leagues. 6th in the National League. Matter of fact, 2 earned runs or less in 46 of 62 games this year. Here's Sosa with a single to left field and drove in Molina.
Well, the Marlins knew that coming in. They knew that the starting pitching, that was going to be their strong point, their strength, and it certainly has been to this point. They were kind of hoping that offensively some things would come along. But when you have a starting staff that is putting up numbers like this, that's pretty good. Relievers getting the job done as well. Just the offense. I mean, it's been slow to develop.
But if you pitch, you can hang around games.
That's a fact.
And they've been able to do that. Had Sosa way out in front. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the 1-2 hit out of play.
This is also a very young ball club that probably got a lot of confidence last year doing what they did.
No doubt.
And rightfully so. And I do think that this upcoming offseason, because I mean the team was purchased. Derek Jeter's group is trying to build something new. They've got a new GM in Kim Ng, trying to build something.
Another base hit for Sosa. Hit out to left. Sierra cuts it off and fires it back in. That holds Edmundo Sosa to a single, and it brings in Adam Wainwright.
The
Sosa
breaking
2
ball.
for 2.
Yeah, breaking ball again there. Catches it in the middle of the plate. Turning on the wheels a little bit. Max Sierra does a good job getting to this ball, cutting it off. And Sosa said, all right, let's get things going. I like his game.
Hard not to like it. That's his 6th multi-hit performance of the year. And now Adam Wainwright. And strike 1. Sacrificed first time up. You know, Sosa also on the relay to the plate did a terrific job, and it happened so quickly in such an odd play at the plate to get the runner. We didn't talk much about just how well he did in making the turn and the transition to get it to the plate, but that was well done, and he's played primarily at short, but really good play on that throw to Yadier Molina. 0-2 on Adam Wainwright.
See, another thing I like, I just like having the glove in the field. As much as the Cardinals have scuffled to score runs, run prevention is going to be the name of the game for them right now until that side of things pick up. Feel more comfortable with him out there. Feel like he's going to steal some runs for you.
And the 0-2 strikeout of Adam Wainwright. Number 3 tonight for Braxton Garrett. We head to the 5th in a 1-run game.
We go to the 5th in St. Louis. Cards down 2-1. KK is apparently ready to roll after a lower back issue. Put him on the IL. The Cards say KK will get the start tomorrow night. KK jarred that lower back after he awkwardly hit the bag at first base in a matchup with the Reds on June 4th. John Mozeliak told me KK threw a bullpen yesterday at Wrigley. He says Kim threw 37 or 38 pitches and felt good afterward. Mo said they believe KK is ready to go. Dan, Mike Schilt told me getting a healthy KK back is a huge boost for the rotation. Schultz said KK really pitched well for us last year. If he can get back to that form, it would really help us out. No doubt, Danny.
Well, they need to get a few guys back to form. It's not just KK, but we're talking about offensively. We're talking about others in the rotation. We're talking about getting guys healthy because right now it adds up to a team, Brad, that's under 500.
Yeah, for sure. And for the players, man, that weighs heavy on them because they know from an individual basis, you know what you're supposed to be doing. And then when you're not doing that, you put more pressure on yourself. And the key is to not do that, but human nature makes you. But the fact that you're getting some reinforcements and getting KK back could be a huge boost. And it's a different look for this rotation also. Getting the lefty back in there. So certainly exciting, good news, and I hope we keep building off of that good news.
So the fifth inning rolls in. Garrett, then Birdie and Marte. Big gap in left center. And the outfield very shallow. Garrett bounced to Arenado first time up. Your big guys have to be the guys you expected. Goldschmidt, Arenado. You got to get the young going. Can Dylan Carlson get back to the pace that he was at? Can you get back healthy? Can your bullpen throw strikes? Will you eventually get healthy with Jack Flaherty? Will Miles Michaelis eventually return? Can KK give you more than 5 innings? I mean, these are all things that have to happen, and it's a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah, well, and then to add on to that, how do you supplement your team from the outside? That's another thing. As the trade deadline is approaching, and there are certainly some needs with this ball club, like how do you tweak the roster? How do you find the perfect fit? And then how do you do all these things and plug some of these holes without totally taking away from your future? Like, that's the hard part. It's easy to make theoretical trades. It's a lot harder to make ones that make sense for the here and the now, but also 5 years down the road.
Let me ask you, if you're Mike Schilt, would you shake up your lineup? Is it something that, have you gotten to that point now where you maybe mix and match some other things?
Yeah, I would absolutely think about it. I would think about a little bit of anything to spark guys. And Mike does such a good job of communicating with his players. Part of that communication would be if he did shake up the lineup a little bit, it wouldn't be, oh, Mike just changed the lineup, didn't tell anybody, oh, he must be losing faith in us. He talked to the guys like, hey, I'm going to try to mix it up a little bit. Let's see what happens. And I'm sure that they'd say, all right, let's do it. Let's try something new.
Sure. Yeah, the left arm of Larry Vanover got cut, so they'll tend to that. Jeez. Ouch.
They're going to tend to home plate umpire Larry Vanover, who get him all cleaned up. And Dan, when you think about all the questions that the ball club may have, you still got to love the nucleus, right? I mean, when you're looking at this team, and certainly they're a lot better when they're healthy. And losing Jack Flaherty, that hurts big time. I still believe this club is a lot better than they've been playing recently, but you can only believe for so long, right,
until you have to do it. And I think that they're kind of in the thick of that.
No question.
That guy makes a big difference when he ends up being healthy. There's no replacement for when you lose a guy like Jack Flaherty either. There's no, hey, let's call down to the minors and get a guy. That guy's not there.
And your number one can stop losing skids many times. And now Wainwright has been that guy that you're asking to do that at the age of 39. And for the most part, he's been able to do it. Taken there by DeYoung. And Garrett is 0 for 2.
Where would this club be right now without Adam Wainwright?
Or Yadier Molina
Yeah.
or Nolan Arenado, which, for a 7 or 10 day period, they were signed, but you didn't have them for the better part of the entire offseason. Yikes.
Yeah, fans were getting nervous.
Yeah, I was too.
Me too. Me too.
I don't blame them. Well, the Marlins scored their runs back in the 3rd inning, and it all happened with a 2-out rally. Diaz and Garrett, they struck out, grounded out, and then Birdie singled to right, back-to-back walks, and then a 2-out single by Chisholm, and that brought in 2. And that's really been the MO of the Marlins this year. They've scored nearly half of their runs this season with 2 outs. Well over 40%. So tonight is continued to trend from last year. 46% of their runs were scored with 2 outs.
Just won't go away. And that is a characteristic, a trait. When you're playing against him, you hate him. If that's your ball club, Don Mattingly is so happy with the way that his guys fight in those spots.
Two balls and 2 strikes with 1 out and nobody on. And it's fouled back.
See that swing there from Birdie, and you see he's a little late on it. And then you look at the velocity and say 89. Why is he late on 89? It's because 2 pitches ago he drops in a 70-mile-an-hour hammer. It's about the differences in speed. If you can have the variation.
You keep guys off balance. And Adam Wainwright does that as good as anybody in the league, of just the back and forth.
And he's in and out, not a lot over the middle of the plate, and if it is, it's up or down. It's changing eye levels. I don't know, Brad, they call that pitching. 3-2 pitch. It's up just a bit. I mean, so many guys, I'm not trying to say get off my lawn here, but it's 90. Well, it's 95 or above, and it's throwing as hard as I can and really not having an idea of where it's going. Where Adam Wainwright is 88 to 92 with movement and trying to spot it. 3-2 pitch. Bye-bye. It's that. I mean, that is fun to watch.
It is. It is. And it's just how you set him up. A couple of good fastballs. You caught him in between. Birdie definitely not looking for that right there in the spot. You see the take.
And the frustration.
Yeah. It's like, why wouldn't I think
That the curveball was coming from Adam Wainwright in that spot because he got in your head a little bit and he was pitching to you. And I've been saying this for a long time. If you, and I know the guys are taking advantage of this, if you're a teammate of Adam Wainwright, pick his brain, ask him questions, stand by him. I've loved it watching Johan Oviedo come out of games. Waino's the first one there. They talk for multiple innings afterward. Learn what he's doing and how he's doing it and what the thought process is and when he decides to attack hitters and when he decides to go. Like, there is so much there, and then you couple that with the raw stuff that a lot of these guys have, and wow, you got something special.
0-2 on Marte, and the next to Starling Marte late with that swing. Wainwright to the bag, and a little smile from Starling Marte like, are you kidding me? Couple breaking balls and then 90 miles an hour. Really? This break in the action brought to you by Ford and the fully electric F-150 Lightning. Let's take a look at it. That break in the action was brought to you by Ford Motor Company, built Ford proud. With Brad Thompson, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is here as well. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And the Marlins a 2-1 lead as we move to the home half of the 5th. All right, top of the lineup and trying to get something going. The Cardinals have out hit the Marlins 6-4, and they trail by the score of 2-1. For Braxton Garrett, career high is 5 innings in his major league debut, and that was last season. And the first pitch is a strike. Tommy Edman struck out swinging. He had a soft liner to third and hitless tonight. Nothing for 2. No balls and 2 strikes.
Biggest thing I've noticed with Braxton Garrett is he's just not leaving the fastball over the middle. Like, you're seeing it sparingly and just loops in the breaking ball. Looks like Cardinals are kind of waiting on the heater.
And Edman hits a fly ball into left. Sierra over, sliding. It's off his glove, and a fair ball as it hops into the seats and a ground rule double. Nice attempt by Magneuris Sierra. And it hops into the seats and a ground rule double for Tommy Edman.
Well, if Magneuris Sierra is not going to get to this ball, I don't think this ball is going to be gotten to. You see him there playing pretty standard left field. He's running, takes an eye at the wall, but he doesn't really pull up on this baseball. Catches it right off the edge. Tommy Edman standing at second base, and here we go. Cardinals got a little something going here in the bottom of the 5th.
Have to get this run home. Dylan Carlson is 2 for 2. Single to center and a single to left. This is when you would say either bring him in or somehow move him to third for Goldschmidt and Arenado.
Be productive.
Two balls and no strikes. The outfield deep. They are straight away. Right-hander getting loose in the pen for the Marlins. And the 2-0 pitch to Dylan Carlson. Up the middle on a hop. Sliding play. What a play by John Birdie. And out at first. Oh, what a play by Birdie, taking a hit away from Dylan Carlson.
That was a heck of a play. He was very well positioned on this one, too. John Birdie even took a look at Tommy Edman. He might have had time to get him at third. It would have been a very tough play. I think he makes the right decision of going to first here. But shaded up the middle. Dylan Carlson, this gets in on his hands a little bit, but heck of a play right there by Birdie. Well, while it was a good play that robbed the ball up the middle, you still move your runner over to third base.
And I wouldn't imagine that they're going to let the lefty face Goldschmidt here. Here comes Don Mattingly. And indeed, he will go to his bullpen with the tying run at third base. And 1 out. Anthony Bender has been throwing in the bullpen for Miami. Bender to face Goldschmidt in a 2-1 game when we come back. StubHub, proud to be an official partner of the St. Louis Cardinals for the 2021 season. If your plans change, you can easily list your tickets with StubHub. You can even use our free seller toolkit to help you manage the price of your tickets. StubHub, you can sell your tickets in just a few taps without any stress. Download the StubHub app today. Come to the ballpark, you're back at Busch, you're keeping score, and you're having a little fun. And the Cardinals have a great chance here to tie this game up at least. Anthony Bender is in. Made his major league debut earlier this year, back on May 5th against Arizona. Last year was with the Milwaukee Milkman of the American Association, originally selected by Kansas City, 20th round in 2016 out of Santa Rosa Junior College. Throws his slider about half the time, and now the infield is in, and here's Paul Goldschmidt.
Got that good fastball too that he'll run up mid to upper 90s.
First pitch to Goldie, and strike one. Goldschmidt 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts to left.
That pitch right there is so tough for a hitter to pick up because all you see is slider spin, but then it comes in boring in on you.
A ball and a strike. Good speed down at third base. Tommy Edman, his 17th double of the year to tie his career high from the 2019 season. Advanced on the ground out by Carlson. Nearly a wild pitch, and it's 2-1.
Well, great opportunity and really good spot. And this is a spot that the Cardinals have struggled with mightily this season, is runners in scoring position. They've got guys on. They haven't been able to cash them in. You got the right part of the lineup up, right guy up right here.
The 2-1 pitch. Goldie, base hit into left, and the game is tied at 2-2. Paul Goldschmidt drives in his 31st, and we're tied at 2.
Well, Anthony Bender showed that he didn't have great feel for the slider the first couple of pitches. Both of them backed up, so he goes with the fastball. Sinker, 98. That's in off the plate. You got to make your decision quickly to get the hands in. It's a great job by Goldie right there, showing off that quick bat in a big spot.
Now it's Arenado, and a brand new game. 2-2. Outfield deep, straight away for the Cardinal third baseman. That was Goldschmidt's first run batted in, not coming with a home run since June 1st against the Dodgers.
Do factor.
Big time. Arenado 0 for 2. He'd love to change that here in this 2-2 game. The 1-0. Arenado hits it to short. 6-4-3 on the double play. Chisholm, Birdie, Aguilar. The base hit by Paul Goldschmidt. We're tied at 2. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Live look here at Busch Stadium, the Gas House Grill. The camera of Phil Nichols. Phil is a busy man around Busch Stadium, as you well know.
He's on the move all the time, getting great shots. A beautiful night here in St. Louis. Love the fact that it's opened up 100% capacity. And as you mentioned, crowds are going to continue to grow. Everybody getting excited about the summertime and some Cardinal baseball. And the Cardinals just need to go on a little bit of a roll here. Take advantage of this schedule.
Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes on Jesus Aguilar. 3, 4, and 5. Aguilar steps away. He has lined out to third and walked back in the third. 0 for 1 tonight. And the 0-2 pitch. Pitch number 91 taken for a ball.
You mentioned the pitch count there for Adam Wainwright. I don't think it would shock anybody if he had a really quick inning here to see him again. He's the one guy in the rotation they're not afraid to extend.
Swing and a miss, and strikeout number 6. Nissan drive of the game. Chisholm came up with the bases loaded. Just got past Paul DeYoung at short. That brought in 2. Cardinals had a 1-0 lead at that point. That made it 2-1. And moments ago, St. Louis tied it up at 2-2. Nissan drive of the game.
That swing that brought in 2 from Jazz Chisholm. It was like he was playing a little game of pepper. Kids, look that up. It was a game. You play and you hit the ball.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, it was tons of fun. Then somebody put up a sign one time that said no pepper and then ruined it for everybody.
It was all over if you look behind home plate. I don't know if you ever saw that, but really was readily available if you looked hard.
The no pepper signs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But
did you ever play pepper?
Yeah, played pepper all the time growing up.
I love pepper. Played it all the time.
Underutilized nowadays. And flip. Played a lot of flip also.
Oh, it all stopped with your group. You guys ruined it.
Yeah, we were all business, zero fun.
Actually, your group ruined a lot.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't fun that we ruined.
No, you guys took it to another level. That was a fun group.
Yeah. Good teams that have fun together.
It's good, clean living.
Oftentimes, yeah, of course it was. And those teams win together.
Yeah. On the ground to Goldie. He'll take it himself. You, Izzy, few others. Yeah, it was good, clean living.
That's right.
Cardinals Magazine, as you covered. And the best catcher of his generation is on the cover. 314-345-9000. Yachty on the cover. And you'll receive the best T-shirt of 2021 as well. If you just sign up, 2-year subscription, Cardinals.com/magazine. Well, to your point, he's got 97, now 98 pitches here tonight. And you're still a ways away in the lineup from Adam Wainwright.
Yeah.
If you're going to extend it and you're in the midst of this tough stretch, this is the guy that you extend it with.
Totally agree. And then you have the bottom of the order coming up next inning. It would be 6, 7, 8.
This would be the guy.
Yeah, and to me, a lot of this goes down to, specifically with Waino, it's a little bit easier. You can extend him, but eyeball test. And what I've seen is a guy that has retired 9 in a row. He's looking solid.
Here's a 1-1 to Duvall. 1-2. Genesis Cabrera is throwing in the Cardinals bullpen. The 1-2 pitch doesn't chase.
Little subtle things, but I loved on that pitch right there, watching kind of as he's catching the ball, Yachty is looking at the reaction of Duvall. Like, where are his feet? Where's his balance to set him up for the next one?
Outside, 3-2. I don't know if he would walk him. I think, and if he gets through the inning, I think his night is through, even if he gets the next guy.
Well, them having Cabrera going kind of signals that, and is that you'd like to keep him as fresh as possible.
That may have made the decision a little bit easier for Mike Schilt. We'll see. So Duvall is on base for the second time, single and a walk. So Cabrera still throwing in the Cardinals pen. Alfaro will come up. He is fly to center and struck out. 2-2 game here in this top of the 6th.
We'll have Waino get Alfaro here. Got a couple of lefties coming up afterwards in Sierra and Diaz, so you'd think that Genesis Cabrera is readying for them. Let's let it be next inning.
And there's a strike. The 0-1. Popped up. Right field. And the catch made. Solid outing, Adam Wainwright. Midway through 6. Tied up 2-2. Tied up 2-2 in the home half of the 6th. Only 4 hits allowed for Adam Wainwright, starting to get those hugs. 105 pitches, so that's usually the indication that your night is through. And another solid performance from number 50.
Yeah, hug watch will mean something different in a month. Right now it means that Uncle Charlie gave you an opportunity to win a ball game.
It's a 3rd straight start of 6 or more innings by Adam Wainwright, season high. And the Marlins going back to their pen. Adam Cimber, sidewinder. 6 games he's appeared in against St. Louis, 2-0, 2.35 ERA, and he can be tough on those right-handed batters.
Yeah, I know that the specialists are all but gone now due to the 3-batter minimum. But I love being able to have different looks in your bullpen. If you have guys that throw from different angles, different stuff, the last thing you want is a bullpen of a bunch of guys that look alike. And Cimber does a good job of mixing it up.
I can't understand this one, though, that right-handed batters are hitting .299 against him. The lefties .209.
Baseball doesn't always make sense.
It doesn't. And that would make sense with this, as Tyler O'Neill pops up the first pitch. Aguilar is there for the out. And O'Neill is 1 for 3 with the double. 1 pitch and 1 out. It is remarkable what Adam Wainwright is doing. At the age of 39, the amount of years and mileage on that arm, shoulder, and body, and same could be said about this guy coming to the plate.
It certainly can and has been said about both of these guys. And you know what? Both of them thrive off of it. They love it. They love to be in these situations. When the pressure's on, they love to be the ones that come through. I have no idea what this team this year would look like without these 2 guys.
Molina has singled and scored and also grounded out to 3rd. 2 balls and no strikes with 1 out and nobody on. Chevy called to the pen. 21 of the 29 outings, Cimber has been unscored upon. Big gap in left center. 2-1 the count on Yadier Molina. Two and two. So the Cardinals will have to turn it over to their bullpen tonight. You got to figure that the bullpen is fairly rested and ready to roll. The 2-2.
Well, Waino getting you through 6 innings. He also puts you in a position where you can go to your big guns in the bullpen. The most trusted 3 at this point. Genesis Cabrera, Giovanni Gallegos, Alex Reyes. It's a talented group down there. There have been some inconsistencies on the front end of the bullpen.
Molina into left. Sierra sliding catch and takes a hit away from Yadier Molina. Well, we saw it in a brief time in St. Louis and certainly in the minor leagues. He's a good defensive player.
He's a really good defensive player. He can go get it, and he was really well positioned right here because not much of an opportunity to move for this baseball, so you better be positioned correctly, and he was. This sinking liner by Yadi.
So 2 outs and a shift on the left side. Paul DeYoung 2 for 3 against Cimber. DeYoung did have a home run over the weekend at Wrigley. He's walked tonight, grounded out to 3rd. Outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pulled foul. 2 strikes on the Cardinal shortstop. One swing of the bat, maybe you give that guy a win.
Yeah, make a winner out of him for sure. And you know this for Adam Wainwright, he's not worried if that W is next to his name right now. He just wants one for the team. It would be nice to give it to him.
Softly hit towards third. And Diaz makes the play. So Waino 6 strong tonight. 4 hits. Couple of runs. 2-2 as we ended the 7th.
Tied at 2 apiece as we go to the 7th in St. Louis. Slow and steady progress for Harrison Bader as he tries to recover from a hairline right rib fracture. And it still may be a while before he can go out on a rehab assignment. The fracture is more severe than first diagnosed. John Mozeliak told me you have to be careful. You don't want to go too fast and have a setback. Bader is doing some baseball activity, but is still hitting off a tee and is yet to face live pitching. Danny's still a while before Harrison can head out on a rehab assignment.
Yeah, this team has been hit hard with the injury bug, but no excuses. Major League Baseball, a lot of teams have been hit. And for the Cardinals, not only on their major league staff, but the minor leagues and a lot of teams, whether it was the Padres, you had the Mets hit hard. But you got to find a way.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the bottom line.
We mentioned the Padres. The Padres have lost the most games this year to the IL, and it's about organizational depth and how you can cover it. And there's a breaking point for every team. But you got to be able to dig through.
Here's Sierra, and in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 game here in the 7th inning. So Genesis Cabrera is your new pitcher, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Cardinals have 11 wins from their bullpen this season. Reyes, Helsley, Gallegos tied for 5th among National League relievers with 3 each. Outfield shallow, and the 1-2 put in play, slapped backhanded by Arenado, and out at first. Statcast powered by Google Cloud. 6 strikeouts from Adam Wainwright, which included in there number 1900 of his career.
I just love seeing the fastballs on the corner, the breaking balls down, had the one down the middle, but surely had the opposition on their heels back and forth today. I just enjoy watching, as you mentioned before, Dan, just watching him pitch.
Cabrera asking if that was in, and it was called a ball inside to Diaz. Shift on the right side, and a 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Diaz 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. So Wainwright gives the Cardinals a chance tonight. Kwang Hun Kim tomorrow against Trevor Rogers. Rogers has been really good. He's 7-3, ERA of 2.02. Johan Oviedo and Sandy Alcantara. That'll be Wednesday afternoon at 12:15. Tomorrow we'll be on the air at 6:30.
Yeah, when you look at it on paper, and these games don't play out on paper, fortunately, I looked at today as the day to jump on a starter. Like, this was the one with Braxton Garrett on the mound that maybe the Cardinals could pounce. We're not able to do that against him. But Rogers, he's been really good.
Yes.
You know what Sandy Alcantara has been. This bullpen for the Marlins has been very good also. The key for them is offense. And for Cardinal fans watching, I think that That's a frustrating part of your team. The more frustrating part is that the Cardinals kind of have the pieces, and it's getting those pieces to start doing what they're supposed to be doing, because once they do that, that helps a lot of things too. As you're still waiting for the group to get healthy, like if the offense starts clicking a little bit, it buys you some time, and it gives you the opportunity to maybe not have to use your best relievers over and over, and you can ease some other guys in. The offense can take a lot of pressure off this ball club.
So the Marlins have actually a pitcher, and I mentioned this earlier that this could happen, on deck. So they have right now a 3-man bench, which includes a backup catcher. And then Dickerson, it's kind of like a last resort if they could go to him. And you may have to go to extra innings in this game too. So it's not ideal right now for Don Mattingly, and you may see some changes before game 2 tomorrow. We'll see. But that's Thompson on deck.
Well, sounds like a hitter, certainly.
Don't give me that look. Lined and a base hit into center. Well, this may be something different if they want to pull them back or how they want to do it. Because now it's a bunting situation potentially. So you keep Simber into bunt.
That's a tough pitch to be able to stay on right there. It's that good breaking ball. It was right on the corner by Cabrera.
So they're going to use John Curtis here. And you would have to anticipate the bunt in this spot.
Well, these are the type of games where it comes down to execution, like the little tiny things. Who gets it done? Getting down a bunt here, that's a little thing. We'll see if he's able to do it.
And it's push foul for strike 1.
Probably not the most comfortable guy to try to bunt in Cabrera, who can crossfire that fastball coming right at you. He's also got that slider that can end up right at his back foot.
Arenado is in on the grass. Paul Goldschmidt holding at first. And the 0-1. And he did go. Said he offered at it. Nothing in 2. Curtis, by the way, does not have a sacrifice in his career.
I don't like his chances here. Down 0-2.
And I'm with you. That is an uncomfortable at bat with Genesis Cabrera on the mound. The 0-2 pitch. Stabbed at it. Throw behind and got him. Heads up play. Yachty and Sosa. And it turns out to be a double play. A perfect throw. It's almost like leading the receiver. Sosa there. And time to stretch and a quick tag. Molina's 52nd career pickoff, 3 behind Jim Sundberg for 3rd all time. And the BJC Healthcare difference maker, Tommy Edman, anticipating it as well. Sosa there and the pickoff. And it turns out to be a double play. What play?
Yeah, another beautiful sight, right? Yachty just always aware. Sosa doing a great job of being there. Flashes the glove, said, I'm going to be there.
Still fun to see that, boy.
Yeah, like stuff like that really just shifts some momentum in. As Chevy called to the bullpen, Anthony Bass in for his 29th game of the season. It gives you energy. Like that excites you as a ball club where an out is stolen away, then you get to go back and swing it.
Chevy called to the pen. Anthony Bass signed a 2-year deal late January. Matt Carpenter is moved to the on-deck circle. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Sosa is 2 for 2 with a run batted in. And the 0-1 pitch. Out to center, and Marte is there for the out. While we have a moment, quick word from Great Southern Bank.
What's more convenient than over 100 helpful locations? How about one you can take with you? Wherever life's path leads you, we're just a tap away with Great Southern Mobile Banking.
Here's Matt Carpenter, who has done a nice job in this spot. Now, the season numbers haven't been great, 179. But in terms of pinch hitters from the left side, he's been fine from this spot.
Well, Anthony Bass has had his struggles against lefties. Lefties this season hitting .325 against him.
Marlins know Carpenter quite well all those years down in Jupiter, and they shift here against Matt. Outfield shifting as well. And the 0-1. And it's a ball and a strike. Carpenter is 2 for 3 with a home run. And he's driven in a pair against this right-hander. It's a 2-2 game here in the home half of the 7th. Inside corner, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, Carp didn't love that pitch. It was 96. Looked to be just in off the plate. But home plate umpire Larry Vanover, he's been given the corner. He's been given down as well. Been very consistent back there.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Matt Carpenter. Tommy Edman on deck. Carpenter breaks his bat. It's out to shallow right. The second baseman Birdie puts it away for out number 2. Celebrate the return of summer and the return to full capacity at Busch Stadium. Limited time, fans can purchase $6 Cardinal tickets and also get a free hot dog thanks to Nathan's Famous. That's the official hot dog of the Cardinals. Full details, visit cardinals.com/Nathans. And that is a broken bat that Aguilar had to get out of the way of.
Yeah, that's some firewood. That bat went 100 feet in the air. Bass just tied up Carpenter with that slider in.
Tommy Edman scored the tying run back in the 5th inning on a base hit by Paul Goldschmidt. Got it second with a ground rule double. And Goldie brought him in. The 1-0. Shallow center, Marte will make the catch. We head to inning number 8. Miami 2, St. Louis 2. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest is brought to you by BJC Healthcare, the world's best medicine made better. And by Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Back at Busch Stadium, a 2-2 game. The Cardinals and the Marlins, game 1 of the 3-game series. Giovanni Gallegos. Our Chevy call to the pen. Another solid year being put together by the Cardinal right-hander. And in his last 2 games, 2 2/3, only 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. And ho hum for Giovanni. He is just, ever since he's been a Cardinal, it's just been really good.
It really has. No, he's been so reliable, and that's something that you're looking for, right? Consistency, reliability at the back end of the bullpen, and he has been that guy. And this sets up very well for the Cardinals. Adam Wainwright gives you 6 strong innings. Cabrera gives you a clean 7th. And then you hand the ball over to Giovanni Gallegos here in the 8th. You scrape one out in the bottom of the inning. You hand it over to Alex Reyes, and that's how you like to handle the back end of the ball game.
John Birdie. So the top of the Marlins lineup, and there's strike one. Adam Wainwright, 6 innings. Genesis Cabrera. The scoreless 7th. And Gallegos here in the 8th. Cardinals are in desperate need, partner, of a win tonight. Woo.
But they need something to happen for them quickly. They need some new momentum. And maybe it ends up being one of those magical one swing of the bat, walk-off fashion. That could get a club going.
Birdie is 1 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts and the 0-2. On a hop taken there by first baseman Paul Goldschmidt for the out. In steps Starling Marte, 0 for 2. With a walk and a run scored. First pitch, DeYoung. 2 outs. Marte now 0 for 4 against Gallegos. Jesus Aguilar is lined out, walked and struck out. Well, the Cardinals are at the top of their lineup, and if this is a very quick inning, Giovanni Gallegos could stay in for multiple innings potentially if you don't come back and score in your half, or even finish off the game, depending on what you want to do.
No, I like the idea too. It comes down to eyeball test. What I've seen from him so far, he looks good, spotting up, down and away to the righties, which is. That's where you get Aguilar. See if we can get him to roll over on something.
So 2 outs and nobody on. Shift on the left side. And just off the plate for ball 1. One ball and 1 strike.
That pitch right there just disappears. 86-mile-an-hour slider just drops so late too. The break of it is so late. No hump on the baseball out of his hands. Looks like the heater and darts down.
The 1-1. Have to be careful here with Aguilar. 12 home runs this year. Very good power. The 2-1 pitch. Now 2-2.
Well, this is the one, even if you know it's coming, you're thinking to yourself, all right, stay back on the slider. Or if you see it down, leave it down. The pitch is so good, you have to pull the trigger. He's committed way too early.
Gallegos trying to send us to the bottom of the 8th with a 1-2-3. The 2-2 pitch. Count runs full. What's he want to come with here on a full count?
They're going to go for the heater away here. Showing him a couple of sliders. See if they can freeze him.
3-2 pitch. And they did. Strikeout of Aguilar. No argument. And a 1-2-3. Top of the 8th. Giovanni Gallegos coming up for St. Louis in a 2-2 game. Dylan Carlson, Paul Goldschmidt, and Nolan Arenado. Some odd plays in this game, in particular at the plate, where guys miss the plate on both sides and cost both teams runs. And here we are, 2-2. Chisholm, a base hit that scored 2. Paul Goldschmidt, a base hit that scored Tommy Edman. And it's a 2-2 ball game. The game summary: Garrett went 4 1/3. Chisholm, the base hit. 2 runs batted in. Birdie 1 for 4. Wainwright, another game in which here at home 6 innings. Goldschmidt 1 for 3. And Mundo Sosa 2 for 3. Pair of singles. And now Dylan Floro in our Chevy Call to the Pen. 30 games he's appeared in. Brad Thompson this year.
Yeah, and it's been a really well-pitched ball game on both sides. Dylan Floro, a member of the Dodgers last year, a pickup. The Marlins were trying to solidify that bullpen a little bit, get a veteran guy in there, and Floro fitting that bill for them.
He has not allowed a home run and did not allow a home run all last year.
Must be nice.
He's allowed runs in only 4 of his 30 appearances this year. Dylan Carlson trying to pick up that first home run here at Busch Stadium. He's got 6 on the year, and all those have been on the road. 2 hits tonight. So Carlson, Goldie, and Arenado.
Dylan Floro, another one of those guys that he's not overpowering. Just going out there, going to sink it up there. Not going to run it up there in the upper 90s.
The 2-1 pitch. Ooh, let it fly on that swing. 2-2. Floro, all his runs allowed this year have been away from South Florida.
That's that pitch out of the hand, too, that looks so good, so hittable. It's that belt-high fastball, but just high enough and just enough giddy up to get past.
Just missed, and it's 3-2. It's been well pitched on both sides here tonight. Starters, the bullpens.
You mentioned it before, though. This is a ball game that just feels like the Cardinals need to pull out. Need to be able to shift the momentum. You just got swept out of Wrigley. You got to come home and start building something.
Especially with what you're seeing coming up pitching wise that the Marlins will feature tomorrow and on Wednesday. Three and 2 the count. The next 2, Dylan Carlson. Inside, and it's a leadoff walk here in the home half of the 8th. So Carlson on base for the 3rd time. And the go-ahead run is at first base. And it's Paul Goldschmidt.
A pretty good pitch right here by Dylan Floro, just trying to paint the inside corner. And Dylan Carlson able to lay off it. I don't think he'd even be able to pull the trigger on that pitch, kind of looking away. Setting the table here.
The first pitch to Goldie. Out of play. RBI base hit off of Bender back in the 5th. That scored Tommy Edman to make it 2-2. And that's our score here in the home half of the 8th.
Was I the only one thinking it's almost criminal that Bender does not have a curveball?
With that name?
Yeah.
Of course. And that's a base hit into right field. Dylan Carlson now in scoring position. Good speed. And you know Dylan, after not scoring on that play at the plate, would love to atone for what happened earlier in this game.
But good ball players learn from their mistakes. It was a base running mistake early. This was a mistake in the middle of the plate, and Goldie makes Dylan Floro pay for it by serving it into right field. And I mean, this is exactly how you'd like to set it up. You got 2 runners on in a tie ball game with Nolan Arenado at the plate. You got to love your chances right here. Got to cash it in.
Arenado is hitless tonight. He is 0 for 3. Runners at first and second. Cardinals 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position tonight. First pitch is strike. Arenado shaking his head, didn't like it. The Cardinal third baseman hitting .333 in this spot. 4 doubles, a triple, a home run, 25 runs batted in. The 0-1 pitch. 0-2. These two know each other from the time the Rockies and the Dodgers. Nolan 4 for 11 against Dylan Floro. Arenado in the hole, nothing in 2.
We've seen the opposition a lot recently really try to get inside on Nolan Arenado, tie him up in there a little bit. When he's right, you can't do it. Just been a tick off.
Foul back.
He's throwing a few heaters in a row. I'm not sure how confident I would be showing Nolan Arenado another one, but if you don't have a good feel for that breaking ball, you make a mistake. And he made one to Goldie early in the count that he didn't make him pay for. Ball could go a long way.
The 1-2. Arenado with a high fly ball. As he slams his bat, tosses it towards the dugout. And that's the first out in the home half of the 8th.
That didn't go with the fastball again. Went with the changeup right here that Nolan Arenado ends up popping up, and frustrated with the at-bat.
A little more firewood there, and you get it. You're in a situation right there where you're trying to make something big happen. It doesn't happen, and the frustration takes over. Opportunity here for Tyler O'Neill.
O'Neill 262 with runners in scoring position. Aguilar way off the line at first. 3 infielders on the left side. First pitch, take it for a ball.
I'm pretty sure if Alfaro catches that, Larry Vanover wanted to ring it up.
Agreed. And with the first baseman, Aguilar, so far off the line, Goldschmidt, ball in the gap, could score. The 1-0. Chopped up the third base line, but foul. 1-1. O'Neill extended his on-base streak to 20 with a double back in the third.
It's a second longest active streak right now in baseball, behind Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Atlanta Braves at 22, longest by a Cardinal since Goldie at 23 last season. The Cardinals in desperate need of a base hit here. Good arm in center, good arm in left. The 1-1 pitch. O'Neill with a drive, deep left. It is off the wall. Sierra fields it cleanly. Relay to the plate. Not in time, and scoring it is Dylan Carlson, and the Cardinals have a 3-2 lead. Tyler O'Neill, the double to put St. Louis on top.
These fans have been waiting. They've been waiting for a big hit, a big moment, and Tyler O'Neill delivers here with 1 out in the 8th inning. Gets a fastball. It's in, but not in far enough. A few feet shy of that being a 3-run home run. Sierra plays it well off the wall.
And a smile from Carlson as he, without question, stepped on the plate. An intentional walk to Yadier Molina to bring up Paul DeJong with first base open. The intentional walk to Molina, and the base is loaded for Paul DeJong.
Well, wouldn't this be a great way to break out of it? Get things going for Paul DeJong. Bases juiced. Came back off the IL. Had a home run over the weekend. Let me go talk it over. Crowd's into it now, aren't they?
Absolutely. And Paul DeJong with a couple of grand slams under his belt in his career. And right now they just need a little cushion, and a base hit would be nice. Alex Reyes has grabbed a baseball, and he's throwing in the St. Louis bullpen. Ooh, that was a big hit.
Yeah, it was huge. That was a huge hit. And the key here is now keep piling on. Just keep being relentless right here. The 1 run is great. You've got a lead. You have faith that Reyes will be able to lock that bad boy down, but make it a little easier on him. Make it easier on yourself.
So Paul Goldschmidt, the base hit. Tyler O'Neill, the double off the wall. Intentional pass of Molina. He's on base for the second time, and now Paul DeJong with the bases loaded and 1 out. Huge gap in left center. And a ball inside. Sosa on deck. Cardinals 3-2 the lead. Fisted up the first base line, but that will score a run. DeJong hits it up the first base line, and just enough to score Goldschmidt, and it's a 4-2 St. Louis lead.
Probably not exactly like Paul DeJong wrote that one up, but a run's a run. You end up getting a little bit of cushion here. This thing, Floro just
Bores this in on Paul DeJong. Fists it the other way. And Aguilar, no other option but to grab the ball, step on first.
And you avoid the double play with that. So a chance for Sosa now. 2 hits for Edmundo Sosa. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Base hit to left a couple of times and lined out to center. All night long, the Marlins have been
trying to pitch Sosa in. He's made the adjustment to turn on some of those pitches.
He has. The one down the line. I mean, that ball was probably a good 6 inches in, and he was able to pull the hands in, get the swing started early. Two-one count, couple of ducks on the pond. You know that Sosa's looking for a fastball to drive right here. We'll see if Floro gives it to him.
2-2.
Strikeout of Sosa, but the Cardinals pick up 2 runs in the home half of the 8th. The double by O'Neill. Almost a 3-run homer. Soft ground ball hit by DeYoung. That scored a run, and it's 4-2.
Adam Wainwright is our Budweiser player of the game. 6 innings, 105 pitches. Only 4 hits, and when they need him to come up big, it just seems like he answers, especially when he's pitching here at Busch Stadium.
Yeah, he really did, and kind of picking up where he left off from his last time out. Adam Wainwright, he navigated around a 31-pitch 3rd inning to get through 6, give the Cardinals the opportunity to be in this spot right here. You got a 2-run lead. You got your closer, Alex Reyes, on the bump. And Reyes, unfortunately for the Cardinals, as he's your Chevy call to the bullpen, not a ton of save opportunities here lately for Alex Reyes and the Cardinals.
So his last save was back on June 1st when the Cardinals were in Los Angeles. And since then, he's pitched in 2 games. Twice he's been in. That's it.
It's the hard part when you are a closer. Feast or famine. There's going to be a lot of games where that guy is pitching a lot. You're going to have a week where you're needed almost every darn day, and then you're going to have a couple of weeks where you're not getting much work. So how sharp can you be? We're going to find out.
Jazz Chisholm, the base hit
that scored 2 to account for the 2 runs for the Marlins tonight. Marlins have been out hit 10-5. Cardinals lead it 4-2 here in the 9th. Reyes with a 1.76 ERA at home. 12 walks, 22 strikeouts here at Busch. Converted 18 straight saves to begin his career. Nasty, 0-2. 16 for 16 this year. 3rd all-time behind LaTroy Hawkins, 23. Tippy Martinez, 22. 2nd longest active streak in the National League behind Josh Hader.
Well, you see why. He's running that fastball up there, mid-upper 90s. Drops in the huge breaking ball and just looks so comfortable, so in control of that pitch.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss, and he struck him out. And that's how we start the 9th, and a strikeout by Reyes.
Jazz Chisholm saw the big breaking ball for strike 2, and then Reyes and Yachty do a really good job of just going upstairs. 98, full gas. Impressive.
Adam Duvall shift on the left side of the infield. Outfield straight away. First pitch by Reyes. Strike 1. Duvall 1 for 7 against the Cardinal closer.
It is one of my favorite things to hear you say, Dan. Strike one.
Absolutely. Haven't said it enough this year. A 1 pitch. Center field. Carlson. Out number 2. Cardinals in out away from win number 33 and getting back to the 500 mark and snapping the losing skid. Two outs, nobody on. Jorge Alfaro. Strike one.
Nothing in 2. The 0-2. Hit out of play. Two again. Check swing. And he held up. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 9 pitches so far.
8 strikes from Reyes. 6 innings from Wainwright. Cabrera, Gallegos, and now Reyes.
I just love seeing Reyes fill up the strike zone, attack mode with his stuff. Why not?
The 1-2. Ground ball hit to short. DeYoung has it across the diamond, and the Cardinals win it. The final of 4-2. And with the win, the Cardinals are back to 500 at 33-33, and they take game 1 of the 3-game series against the Marlins. A final of 4-2.
Cardinals an opportunity to start building off of this win right here. A well-pitched ball game, some clutch hitting. Tyler O'Neill with the big RBI double to give the Cardinals the lead in the 8th inning, and the bullpen makes that thing hold up. Great team victory for the Cardinals.
They come through late. They pick up the win. Waino's solid again. Bullpen solid. Post-game show comes your way next, and then game 2 tomorrow night.